Hi, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z, and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. And if you have, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here today. And I want to wish you all a happy and healthy new year. I hope you had a great Christmas and a great new year as well. So I want to show you this pattern. It's for beginners to advanced, everyone in between. I go slow. You can write it down. You can follow along with me, whatever makes you comfortable. But they're for beginner to advanced. And these are the Cozy Winter fingerless gloves. And I just want to mention that they're really, again, easy to make. I made them in a medium and I made them in a large, but I'm going to show you that you can make them in small, medium, and large. And again, they're really, really easy to make. So let's get started. And you're going to love this pattern, and they're warm. I used a 4-weight yarn. You can use a 4-weight worsted yarn. You can use a wool worsted yarn as well. Whatever you feel comfortable and that you like to use is fine for these gloves. I also used an eye hook for these. And for both gloves, I used Red Hot Super Saver yarn. And I want to mention that this is white, regular white through this manufacturer. And this is called Frosty Green. So let's get started again. So what we have to do first is, now I want to mention, we're going to first make our slip knot. Now, if you're going to make, because we're going to start with the cuff. We're going to start with the cuff and then we're going to work our way up. So once you do that, you'll go to the next step once you do your cuff. The cuff comes first. We go from bottom and work our way up. So if you're going to make a small, you chain 10. If you're going to do a medium, you chain 12. If you're going to make a large, you chain 14. So we're going to chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. These are your chains. This is your working chain, and at the end is your slip knot. Once you make your 14 chains, in the second chain from the hook, you're going to make a single crochet. And in the next chain, you're going to make a single crochet. Now, I want to mention that you're going to do a single crochet right across. So that's what we're going to do, right across. And we're going to start making our cuffs. Now, if you want to make the cuffs a little longer, you can. If you want to make them longer and you want to fold the cuffs, you can do that too. But I just want to mention that all we're going to do is make a single crochet, and that's what it looks like. Now, this is going to be worked this way. So now once you make your chains, whether it be 10, 12, or 14 for small, medium, and large, again, you're going to go into the second chain from the hook and you're going to do single crochets. Once you have that first round of single crochets done, then you're going to chain 1. And you're going to chain 1 every time you get to the end. So you'll chain 1, and then you'll turn your work around, and you're going to go into the back of your stitch. So you're not going to go into this loop. Here, there's the 2 loops. You're not going to work in this one. You're going to work in that one. So you're going to work in the back loop, and you're going to make single crochets in the back loop only. And you'll be working in the back loop for every row that you do, whether it be the row with 10 chains, whether it be 12, or whether it be 14, it's always the same. So you're going to do this single crochet right across. And you're going to go in every stitch down till you get to the very end. And then again, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And again, you're going to go in the back loop only, and you're going to make a single crochet. And you're going to single crochet all the way across so that you can make your cuff. And you want to make sure you go into every stitch down. And you're going to notice that you're going to start seeing that little ridge that makes your cuff. And that's what it looks like. And again, you're going to chain 1, turn your work around, and work in the back loop. Once you're done, you will have your cuff done. And it depends again on what size you will be making. And this is what it looks like. And you make sure you keep a count of each row, because you want to make sure that you do the same number of rows for the second cuff, because you're going to make 2 of these. So now we're going to start working the other part of this as we move along. So once you make all of your rows for your cuff, you're going to bring these together, your cuff together, and you're going to fold it in half and bring it together. And now what you're going to do, you want to line them up together. And what you're going to do is you're going to line your cuff up, and you're going to line your stitches up, and you're going to work a slip stitch in every stitch across. So you're going to go in, you're going to grab the first 2 stitches here, and in this one, in the back one, you're only going to grab 1, and you're going to do your slip stitch. So you're going to follow this right across. You're going to grab 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and you're just going to do a slip stitch right across. And you want to make sure that they line up. And when you grab the stitch in the back, you're going to grab the back loop only. You don't have to grab the front loop. You want to grab the back loop only. And you want to make sure that this lines up. And you're just going to do that right across. Again, the first 2 loops and then the back loop of the the back of the cuff. And I know it's a little bit weird and awkward, but the reason why you're going to do that is because, and I'll show you, it won't be as thick a ridge when you finish this. It'll give you a less thicker ridge. So the first two, and then in the back, you're just going to grab the back loop only of the folded up back part. And I want to show you that. Slip stitch. And they do line up very nicely. You can hear the heat coming on down here in my little corner of the world, because it's quite cold in New England right now. And you want to make sure you get to the very end. And at the end, I grab both loops. I don't grab just the two in the front and the one in the back. I grab all four when I go to the end one, because I like to make sure that's closed up. And sometimes if I feel as though there's not enough captured there, I'll do one more just to make sure that it's fine. And this is what you're going to have. And if you're going to notice, it's not as bulky because you just picked up two in the front, which makes it a nice tight one, and then one stitch in the back. So once you do that, you've got your worked your edge of your cuff, and you slip stitched right to the top. So now what you're going to do is you're going to chain one and chain two. And I want to mention that that chain two counts as nothing. It will not count as anything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do single crochets. Once we slip stitch, we're going to do a single crochet in every stitch. So we're going to go right across and do a single crochet. Now, if you are making a small, you do 20 single crochets. If you're making a medium, you do 24 single crochets. And if you're doing a large, you do 28. And you want to make them along each of these ridges if you can. And you want to make sure that you get it in a spot that it doesn't make a big hole. And I'll show you what I mean by that. You don't want to go in there because see the hole? So you want to grab it in a spot that's not going to make a big hole. But you're going to make a single crochet. So you're going to make one. I'm going to make 28 single crochets because that's what I need to make the top of this. So I'm going to make 28 single crochets. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you want, you can make them at the top of each one of these stitches. And you'll be able to tell how many stitches you have. So you look here and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're going to go right across 9, 10, and we're going to grab the sew 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And you're going to just find the spot where it's not going to make 19, 20, 21, 22. You can find 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. And I'm going to I just want to make it so there's not a big like hole there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip stitch to join. And you can count your stitches if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28 is right here. Now, the reason I say to count your stitches is because you want to make sure that you definitely have 28 stitches. Once you join, you're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and you are not going to consider that a stitch. That's considered nothing. Then we're going to make our first double crochet, and we're going to double crochet right around. We need 28 double crochets for a large, we need 24 for a medium, and we need 20 for a small. So let's do our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. At each of those single crochets that you make, you made a double crochet. Once you do this, this is your chain 2. That counts as nothing. You're going to go at the top of this first double crochet, and you're going to make a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. Those double crochets count. Those chain 2s do not. In this first double crochet right here, we're going to make a double crochet in this first stitch because we're not counting the chain 2. And we're going to make our first double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to make a front post double crochet. So we're going to go in the front, loop around, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. In the next stitch, we're going to make a double crochet. In the next, a front post double crochet. Next, a double crochet. And we're going to do this right around. This is how you end up getting this beautiful pattern with the double crochets and the front post double crochets. It gives you this beautiful pattern. So now we made a double crochet here. We're going to make a front post here. You're going to be able to tell your front posts and your double crochets. This is a front post and it's pulling out. This is a double crochet and it's not pulling out. So that's what we're going to do right around. So we made a front post. Now we're going to make a double crochet. And we're going to do this again all the way around. So we made a front post. Now we're going to make a double crochet. Front post, double crochet, front post. I go slow. You can write it down. You can follow along with me, and I take you through it from beginning to end. So now we're going to go into the next one because we made a front post here. We're going to make a double crochet here. And now we're going to make a front post. And like I said, we're going to do this all the way around. And you're going to know where you got to work the stitches because you're just going to follow along for where your double crochets are. You made your double crochets where you followed along where your single crochets are. Now you're making your next round, you're gonna, of the front posts and double crochets, you know where you're going because of your double crochets from below. So it kind of gives you a little map of what you're doing. And this is what it looks like. So what you're doing is you're doing this. And I'll show it to you in the white as well. And sometimes it's hard to get in there, but you will. Not to worry. I crochet tightly, so it's usually, sometimes it's a workout for me. But anyway, It's all good. So you're going to go right around, and you're going to repeat this pattern right around. And another double crochet. Like I said, sometimes I crochet very tightly. So your last stitch is going to be a front post double crochet. So I'm going to go out again, double crochet, last stitch in this row, because here's your double crochet, here's your chain 3 that counts as nothing. So now you're going to put right here a front post double crochet. And now what you're going to do, here's your chain 3 from this row. Right there, you're going to skip that, and you're going to go right into that first double crochet of that row, and you're going to do a slip stitch. So I'm trying to point out the chain 2, so I want you to be able to distinguish them and ignore them, if that makes sense. So now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. Once you do that, you're going to repeat that row. So you're going to, in this first, so here's your chain 2s in this first one, a front post double crochet. And the reason why you're doing that is because the double crochet from below was a regular double crochet. In this next stitch, which is a front post double crochet from below, you're putting a double crochet. So you're doing the opposite of what you did in the last row. So we're starting this row with a front post double crochet. And now we're going to be, again, doing every other like we did before, with a double crochet and a front post double crochet. And you'll know that you're going to put your double crochets where your front post double crochets are, and your front post where your double crochets are. And we're just going to go around. So we made a double crochet there. We're going to make a front post here. This was a front post double crochet from below, so right there we're going to put a double crochet. This is double crochet from below, so we're going to put a front post double crochet. And that's what we're going to do right around. So right there, see where there's that, so right here. Right here. And you'll be able to tell your front post too. See how it has that loop effect right here, and your double crochet doesn't? If that makes any sense. So now here we're going to have a double crochet. And you're going to repeat this all the way around. And you're ending with a double crochet because you ended with the front post double crochet below. So now what we're going to do is, here's your chain 2. You're going to go into that first stitch of that row, and you're just going to make a slip stitch. You're going to join it, and then you're going to chain 1 and chain 2 to do your next row. And that's what it looks like. See how pretty that is? So now we did this and we did this. Now we're going to do the thumb hole, and I'll show you. We're going to work the thumb hole. I'll get the white one here, the thumb hole. The white one doesn't fit me because it's not my size. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make, for our thumb hole, we're going to need to go and repeat these stitches 6 times, which will give us a total of 12 stitches, and you don't count the chain 2. So what I'm saying, here is your first stitch, which is right here. This is a front post double crochet. So in that stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. And in the next stitch, you're going to put, right in this next stitch, you're going to put a front post double crochet. In this next stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. In this next stitch, you're going to put a front post double crochet. Next stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to put a front post double crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. And in the next stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. I'm sorry, front post double crochet. Sorry about that. So now we want to count our stitches. Now you don't count the chain 2, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need 12 stitches here. So let's put a double crochet here because we have a front post there, so a double crochet and a front post double crochet. We're doing the same thing we did with these other rows. Where there's a double crochet, we put a front post. Where there's a double crochet, we put where there's a front post double crochet, we put a double crochet, and where there's a double crochet, we put a front post double crochet. Did I say that right? So let's count again. We have the chain 2 counts as nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 more stitches. In this front post double crochet, we're going to put a double crochet. It's easier to just say it that way. And in this next one, we're going to put a front post double crochet. So that's that row, but we're going to continue. So now once we made and I will count them, not the chain two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, ending with the front post double crochet. Let me do that again. I think I went off camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Once you do that, you're going to chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4. Once you do that, you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. In this 5th stitch right here, you're going to put a double crochet. And you know you're going to put a double crochet there because you have a front post double crochet below it. So you put a front post double crochet here, you chained 4, and then you put a double crochet there. Now we're going to continue with the same repeat pattern. Double crochet, front post double crochet, double crochet, front post double crochet. And we're going to do this till we get to the very end of this row. And if you do crochet a little looser, it will be easier to get into these stitches as well, especially where you're going into the front post double crochets. It will be easier if you just crochet a little looser, which I am trying to do, just to mention. Now right here is our double crochet. So right here is our front post, right here is our double crochet. We're going to put right here, we're going to put a front post double crochet. Now here's our chain 2, so we're going to go above this next stitch, the very first stitch that we made, and that was a double crochet, and we're going to do our slip stitch. And there's our thumb hole. So now again, as always, once we do that, we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. In this first stitch, we're going to put a front post double crochet. You ignore this one because that's your chains. In this first one, you put a front post double crochet. And then we're going to go right around and do the same thing until you get to your chains, and then you will stop. So let's get past this, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next, because you're going to have your chain 4s. So we're going to finish this row, but we want to finish it correctly. So you see how you're going to go right around? I go slow. You can write it down. You can follow along with me, but I do try to go slow so you can learn this. Beginner to advanced, everybody in between. This is a real pretty pattern, and everybody can do this because of the techniques here. In this last stitch where there's a front post double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to work the back bumps of this, and you can see them. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to work the back bumps only, and we're going to, here's 2 right here, and you're going to put a double crochet in the back bump only, and you're going to have to play with this a little bit to just get it. 2, 3, here's another one, and 4. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the angle just right so you can see it. And you're just going to work those back bumps. And you put 4 double crochets in each one of the back bumps. So once you worked your double crochets in the back bump, you're going to make right here a front post double crochet. And now you're going to make a double crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way around. And in the very end here, where you have your front post double crochet, you're going to put a double crochet. And then once you do that, here's your chain 2. In that first stitch of this row right here, you're going to do a slip stitch. And then you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And I'm going to show you how far we've gotten. Here's our thumb hole. I'm going to pull out a little bit. And here we are thus far. And that's what it looks like. So you have 2, and they look really good. And we did that, and we're going to do that. So now what's going to happen, and I want to show you where we are. We're right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be repeating row 3 and row 4. Now, as I mentioned, you're going to work round 3 and round 4. For size small glove, you're going to work 2 more rounds of 3 and 4. For a size medium, you'll work 3 more rounds of 3 and 4. And for a large, you'll work 4 more rounds of 3 and 4. So in this first stitch, we're going to put a double crochet because there is a front post double crochet below it. In this next stitch, we're going to do a front post double crochet. And we're going to continue this pattern all the way around. Where there's a front post double crochet, you're going to put a double crochet above it. Where there's a double crochet, you're going to put a front post double crochet above it. In this last stitch before you get to these 4 that you worked in the bump, you will put a front post double crochet. Now you're going to work a double crochet, a front post double crochet, a double crochet, a front post double crochet, and a double crochet. And then, like I said, you will continue this pattern to the end. And you're getting to the end, so there's your double crochet. You're going to end with a front post double crochet, and you're going to do a slip stitch. There's your chain 2. You're going to do a slip stitch in this double crochet from the first stitch that you made. Now that is round 1 of round 3 and 4. So now we're going to start round 2. So you're going to chain 1, chain 2, and in this first stitch, you're going to put a front post double crochet. In the second stitch, you're going to put a double crochet. And you're going to repeat this all the way around. And I want you to see what that looks like. So let me just show you. We're at the thumb hole again. And you'll know what stitch you're going to do by the stitch below it. That's your giveaway. Excuse my... And these rounds go fairly quickly. So you could actually make a set of these in, and I'm going to lay that down again so you can see it, compared to the other one that we made, where we're at. So these you can make these in a day. You can make a few of them in a weekend, or if you wanted to, you could stretch them out over the weekend and make them. But this is a quick workup. You can give them as gifts. You can keep them for yourself. You can sell them. And they do sell rather well. So now here's your front post double crochet. We're going to put a double crochet there. And then we're going to hop over this chain 2, and in this very first stitch where there is a front post double crochet, we're going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1, chain 2, which counts as nothing. So I'm going to put this down so you can again see what it looks like. I go slow. You can follow along. You can write it down. You can go along with me and work these, whatever makes you comfortable. But I do like to go slow so that you can see what I'm doing and you can follow along. Now, once we chain 2, we're going to see that in this next stitch, we're going to make, because we did a front post double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet here. We made a front post double crochet below, we're going to make a double crochet here. And then a double crochet and a front post double crochet. So a double crochet, a front post double crochet, a double crochet, and a front post double crochet, and we're going to repeat this all the way around. We're going to repeat this all the way around this pattern of stitches. Again, we're repeating row 3 and row 4 until we get to the right amount. Now, if you like yours longer and you want more of a cover over your fingers, then of course you can do the row amount that you choose. The numbers that I am giving you are the numbers that go with the pattern that we are working, but you can make them. And everybody's length of fingers is not the same, so you might want to make yours a little bit different, a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. So right here, because you did a double crochet, you're going to do a front post. on that. And see, you have a front post, so right here you're going to do a double crochet above it. And this is what we do all the way around. And now we're back at where the thumb hole is. And this is round 3. And now we're coming to the chain 2, which we ignore. And above this, we're going to put a slip stitch to join. So now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And in this first stitch, we're going to put a front post double crochet. And this is going to be my last row of the repeat of row 3 and row 4. This is my last row. And we're going to follow that pattern all the way around. And we're coming to the thumb area again, right there. And you do continue to follow the pattern. It doesn't change because that's the area. So you're just going to continue to follow that pattern. This is what gives this pattern such a beautiful look. This is what brings out this pattern, is the fact that you do the front posts and the double crochets, they together over and over again in each row, alternating rows of what you start, whether you start with the double crochet or a front post double crochet. You alternate the rows for the startup. And I stop because I want you to see where I'm coming to. I want you to see the stitch that I'm looking at from below. I want you to be able to see it. See, this is a double crochet. So I'm going to put a front post in top of it. And right here, I'm going to put a double crochet. And now, again, chain 2, we're going to ignore, and in the top of this stitch, this front post double crochet, I am going to make a slip stitch. So I'm going to show you where we are. And this is where we are. I'm going to actually pan out a little bit. So this is where we are. So now what we're going to do, now you could finish this like this and do nothing more, but I liked doing an edge. I liked this edge. So what I did to make that edge was I chained 1, and made a single crochet in that first stitch. But I made the single crochet in the back loop only. And then I made a single crochet in the back loop all the way around in those stitches from below. Now the reason that I chose to do that is because it gives me this little ridge that I like. This little ridge. It forms a little line around it. So I just make a single crochet all the way in every stitch around. I repeated this row twice, and then I finished off the project. So I did this row twice and finished off that part of the project. Except if you want, and I'm going to show you something else in the very end, which I kind of like. I've tried it both with and without. And I'm going to show you with and without. This is without. This is with. And I went all the way around. The white fingerless glove, I did not do this border on the top. I rather like this border. But I am going to show you what I did to end the border for the white one. I did all single crochets, 2 rows, but I did not go in the back of the stitch. I did not do the back loop of the stitch. I like the line that it gives me. Now I'm at the end here. This is where I made my first single crochet, and I'm going to do a slip stitch there, and then I'm going to chain 1 and go in again and do another right here, but I'm going to go in the back loop only and make another single crochet. And again, I'm going to do this all the way around. And I make a single crochet. See the second line, line 1 and line 2. I love that look that it gives it. you may not want to finish it off this way. With the white, I did just 2 single crochets. With the green one, the frosty green, I did single crochets in the back loop only, 2 rows. And then I did 1 more feature to both of them actually. But you can finish these off with just this feature alone. Or you can add your own little, you know, you might want to tweak it your own little way. You might have an edging that you actually like, that you would like to add on to this. Then by all means do so. So again, I'm coming to the very end here, and I'm going to just do a slip stitch to join. So now what I did at the very, very end, it a slip stitch all the way around. So I ended this row with the slip stitch all the way around. Now you don't have to do this, but this is the way I chose to do it. In both the white ones and the green one. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But that's what I did to end this all together. So I wanted to show you that part of it. So again, you can slip stitch all the way around to finish this off. And I'm going to show you just to the end. And it gives it a really pretty edging to the top by doing that. See how pretty that is? So you've got your 2 rows that look like you've got that pop out, and then you've got this slip stitch in the very, very last row. And then after you're done with that, you're going to just slip stitch the last one, chain 1, and you're going to cut that end. Sorry, I wanted to put it there. And pull that through, and then you're going to weave that in. But see how pretty that ending looks? And you're going to weave, like I said, you're going to weave in your ends. But that's really a pretty, pretty ending to this glove. This, and I just want to show it to you up close, what it looks like. So that's the slip stitch row, and that's the 2 single crochet rows that leave this little margin or little line, because we worked in the back posts only of, or the back loop only of the single crochets. And this is the other one, and that's exactly, I'm going to pull out And this is the 2 sets. And this is the white. It's actually a medium, and this is a large. And these are just beautiful. They're great to give as gifts. They're great to sell, but they are the Cozy Winter fingerless gloves. And again, I think they're just really, really, really pretty. So this is Maria from Crochet A to Z. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of the fingerless gloves, the Cozy Winter fingerless gloves. Have a great day. Have a great night. Love you all. Bye-bye.